Hello and welcome to JDStone Creations. My name is Johnny, they're the budgies, they will continue to chatter in the background. And these are my guitars, the D&VMNT and the Illuminator. The reason it's called the Illuminator is because the whole thing glows from within. Unfortunately, that causes so much interference with the pickups that it is virtually unusable with the LEDs lit, which is a shame because when you turn it off, it sounds amazing. This is a D&VMNT. It's been modified by a previous owner, quite badly. I bought it as a body and a neck. It had nothing bolted onto it. It had completely destroyed frets, paint all over the fretboard, and I completely refurbished it into a surprisingly playable guitar. Unfortunately, I don't really play it. That has a 25.5-inch scale length. The lowest note is a B flat. Most of my songs go lower than that. This one is a 30-inch scale length and feels perfect to me in that respect. It goes down. I was about to say to an F sharp, forgetting that I tuned that to an F for a different song. I want a flying V that sounds and plays like that. So, time to build a new one. So as you can see, I've already got started with this. I have a lovely piece of what I think is Superior mahogany. All that I do know is it makes a lovely noise. So that is going to be very resonant and very solid. Perfect for a guitar. The neck, I believe, is the same kind of wood. So it's not exactly going to be the prettiest guitar if I left it standard. However, being that the previous guitar had a 9-piece neck, including veneers and 2 different other pieces of wood, and then the body was laid with 5, 6-ish different materials, let's keep it simple this time. But this piece of wood also makes music as it is. Now you might be thinking, that's not a guitar body shape, you can't make something that narrow. This is a Super V. What I mean by that is we have a Strat and we have a Super Strat. The Super Strat is simply a Stratocaster except with a slightly more refined shape. So why has there never been a Super V before? I'll reveal all of the little touches as we go on. The centre line of the guitar, or at least somewhere just off the centre, because it's going to be a sort of neck through, line it up like that, from this point in the very, very corner to that point in that very corner is a perfect line all the way up there. And then reversed, and we get exactly the same there. Now the coolest thing is the fact that I didn't plan any of that. I got given this piece of wood, and then I built a different guitar out of other pieces of wood that I had, and I thought, I'm going to save this for something that's just going to fit just right one day. And then I decided to build a flying V, having forgotten that I had this piece of wood. And digging it out revealed that this was the perfect size to do 2 wings of a flying V, providing I had this piece of wood which also came from exactly the same place, which works perfectly as a neck through. And then get this. That's the fretboard. It's 3mm too long. And what it is it's a floorboard, just made of oak. and it has a perfect grain pattern that goes right down the middle of it. But the plan being, that line will go from the centre line and will line up perfectly with the curve that I have for better top fret access. It's like it was meant to be. Now on this side of the bench, I drilled a hole in my bench and I made a peg that sits inside it. I've been able to rest a piece of wood on there and not have a clamp on top, and it meant that I could run the planer all the way across the piece of wood. So, I'm happy with this side. I think it's time to do the planing on this side because I've already done it here and I think that's looking pretty damn good. So it's time to find out how much of this very, very pretty looking pattern, which I believe is probably just water damage, see how much of that actually remains. Now the rest of it was incredibly smooth, so I have a strange feeling that none of this is going to go smoothly. Oops, see? Oh dear. Microphone doesn't want to be on there for a start. It's rough, but it's working. Oh, there we go. So already looking good. Bit more off this end, I think. See, I said it'd been going better, didn't I? I need more space. So I think I've come up with a bit of a revelation, and I hope you can hear me over all of the background noise. We've got motorcycles and angle grinders and all sorts going off here. I don't need to make a conventional body and neck design here. The revelation simply came through measuring this. I just have this bridge lying around, and I noticed it's exactly the same width as the bridge. So that'd be roughly where my 30-inch scale length is. And it just occurred to me, if the bridge fits perfectly like that, and I could have these two sides of the body bolt on. I was going to be copying my previous design. If I'm going to do a remake, I don't really want to end up with the same guitar. So that's where I'm thinking. It's an interesting one. It's still a bolt-on. I know that bolt-on guitars work. In fact, it'd be bolted onto even more. Plus the string resonance would be straight through the entire neck. The pickups would be mounted to that, so you get the same string resonance through that if you're the kind of person that thinks that somehow resonating wood goes into a pickup and makes it vibrate more, and somehow electromagnetics are affected by wood. I'm not one of them, but sod it. This would solve that problem as well. Right, I've decided everything that I'm doing now. Well, Johnny, you've given yourself lots of editing to do there, because there was only about a minute worth of talking that's actually worth keeping there, so Have fun with that, mate. Sorry, future me.